So I was working on a BMW this week, came into the workshop with very bad braking. Customer was worried, found it dangerous to drive, and when checking it was able to see that the brake pedal was extremely hard. In that vehicle, I was able to confirm after some component testing that the brake booster, which is this item here, had failed. And I thought that I would showcase not only that BMW in this video on how I was able to determine that, but also do some in-car testing on this vehicle, which is a working system, and show you expected results from this working system and if you have a failed system as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first question to answer is, what could cause a hard brake pedal and bad braking? Well, there is a number of items that can cause it. One of it is this vacuum line that comes down here. If that was split or if it was blocked off, blocked in any way, that could cause it. Insufficient vacuum coming along this line, whether that's from the manifold or the vacuum pump, depending on the system. A blocked check valve, you can have a check valve on this side, or it can be like on this one further up the line. If that is blocked, that would cause it too. And then lastly, inside the brake booster itself, so in here you could have a ruptured diaphragm or a faulty control valve. Any of those items will cause you to have a hard brake pedal. So to simplify the fault a little bit, a hard brake pedal is due to a lack of or no brake assist when you are pressing on that brake pedal. You're not getting any assistance and you're just having a hard brake pedal that will stop you, but you won't have any assistance from the booster when you're doing it. Now, what are the things you need to make sure that you have brake assist? Well, one of them is sufficient vacuum. So this line here, that needs to be supplying a sufficient vacuum so that you can have it. You need to have a fully functional brake booster. So this brake booster down here needs to be completely functional for that. And you also need the vacuum to be capable of holding. Once you have all of those items and they are all working correctly, you should have a functional brake assist. So one of the very quick and simple in-car checks you can do is pump the brake pedal several times until it feels hard. So we're going to do that right now. Once it feels hard, you hold the pedal down and you start the engine. When you start the engine, you should feel the pedal go down slightly. If it does, then it's okay. So we're going to check that now. And as you could see there, when we pressed on the brake pedal, it went down slightly, which showcases it's okay. Now this check that we did shows that the internal and external valve operation is okay, and that we are happy with the results we get. Now another thing of note is, if you press down and when you're doing that hold or when you're doing that press, if you hear a hissing sound, that can be an indication of a vacuum leak inside in the brake booster assembly. That was the case in the BMW that I was working on, and I will insert the clips for that now. So the next check we're going to do, I'm going to run the engine for a minute off camera, and then I'm going to, it's going to build up the vacuum on it, and then I'm going to do my next test. So I've had the vehicle running for a minute or so just to build up the pressure again, give it a chance to get that vacuum inside in the booster. And now I'm going to do the next test. What I'm going to be doing is pressing on the brake pedal several times, and what we should expect to see is a change in the pedal from each press. So the first one should go down further, the next one should come up a little higher, and then the third one should be nice and firm. We don't want a firm pedal straight away. We want it to go down, up, and then. So that's what we're going to do now. First press goes down a bit, we come up, go again, doesn't go down as far, come up again, down, it's climbed up a bit higher, and then the fourth one we are nice and solid. So that is another very good test to show that your brake booster is operational. Now what I am going to do on this one, which I decided, was I'm going to introduce a vacuum leak, and I'm going to show you the first test again of what happens when you're doing that if you have a vacuum leak introduced. And simply to introduce a leak, I have pulled off the vacuum line altogether going into the booster, and I'm going to do that first test again. So remember, with the engine off, we pump the brake pedal several times until we get the pedal nice and hard. So that's what we're going to do first. And I don't know if you could see that, but that's nice and firm straight away. We're going to start the engine again, and we should see that pedal creep down just like the first time, but in this case we have a vacuum leak introduced. And if you could see there, the pedal didn't move, it doesn't creep down because you don't have a functional brake assist. The vacuum isn't going to the booster, and therefore it doesn't drop down. It stays solid and even can creep up a bit. So that is a very good test for you, a very clear indication as to what you can expect from those two tests. So you may be asking, how does the system actually function? Well, the vacuum in the booster keeps a pull on one side of the diaphragm. So in here there's an internal diaphragm. This vacuum keeps a pull on that, and then when you press the brake pedal on the other side, it introduces an atmospheric pressure. That atmospheric pressure then helps in the brake assist and is able to multiply the force which the brake pedal is applied at. So without the vacuum or a working diaphragm, you essentially don't have any assistance when you're pressing the brake pedal. Now on the BMW that I'm going to show you, it isn't a vacuum line coming from the manifold. It has a vacuum pump. Now the test that I do is I check to make sure it has sufficient vacuum coming for it. So the inches of mercury on the vacuum pump that you would expect to see should be in the range of 20 plus. So you're going to have 20 plus inches of mercury and up to around 27, 28. That is the expected range for sufficient vacuum as a rule of thumb. In a manifold, I believe it's a little bit less. I don't have the exact readings off the top of my head, but I think it's somewhere around the 17 to 18 is the expected ranges you would get from a manifold vacuum in HG. Now the simple checks that I did was I got my vacuum gauge, I pulled the hose off its current location. Now of course you have to check and make sure you don't have any cracks in the lines. There's no splits in the seal. I've seen that before up here where the actual pipe presses in, that there's no leaks there. And you pull this hose, you check to see if it's capable of creating vacuum. Then you check the one-way valve that it's capable of holding the vacuum. And once you have those checks done, coming all the way along to here, and with the tests that you have already done in the vehicle, you can 100% be certain that you have a bad booster should you have good vacuum up here, a good one-way valve, and then you have a hard brake pedal. This brake booster is not assisting you. Now in the BMW, I was able to hear a hissing sound, I had a hard brake pedal, so I wasn't getting the correct test results when I was inside in the vehicle, and then I was able to see oil. So there was oil contamination coming through, and I was able to see that in the cabin and in the lines going to the booster. How does that happen? Well, it's through that vacuum pump in those. It allows oil to pass by it. There is a breakdown and it comes through the line and it pulls it in. That oil softens the diaphragm over time and would cause it to rupture. So not only do you have to replace the booster in the BMW, you would also have to make sure that you sort out that oil coming in with the vacuum pump, because if you were to just replace the booster, the same problem could come back again in 3 to 6 months to a year's time, however bad the leak is. It will happen again. If oil is coming in and it's caused it to rupture, you're going to have the same fault coming back the next time. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope you found it useful and informative. If you did, please like, share, comment and subscribe. And I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.